Watch new episodes nearby. In fact, they are less than a week. However, for many months, many of us may have forgotten or needed to review where we were before we left. Don't worry, I'll try to go through the main storylines and get you hooked before we return next week. Start with, revealed by Adam Newman. In short, Adam returned to Kansas to rest and meet his old friend there, Alyssa Montalvo. Alyssa and Adam begin to talk about their families and how it goes when they learn that Alyssa's father was a loan shark and was murdered. Chelsea Lawson put it on Adam's head that night when Alyssa's father, Victor Newman, was in town. This started Adam thinking about the time frame and he began to suspect Victor was involved in the murder. Adam enlisted the help of Alyssa, now a reporter, and together they found clues and tried to find the man responsible for her father's death. However, Adam did not keep the closing agreement and took the information to use for himself. They concluded that Victor was in the same place at the same time and told the investigator that Victor had paid off. Adam is very sure of himself. Adam then takes this information for Victor and starts trying to blackmail him. However, it really works. Remember, in about 1 or 2 episodes, Adam had Newman Enterprises for a very short time until Victor finally had to tell Adam the truth. Victor doesn't want to tell Adam, but he keeps accusing him of things he didn't do. We discovered that Adam was actually a murderer when he was a child and Victor did not hide his tracks but tried to keep Adam safe. This was not good for Adam and he was rejected. We think this is true, so when we return, there will definitely be some confrontation between father and son again. Did Adam really do that? Is Victor trying to cover himself up, but is he telling the truth? New episodes are nearby. In fact, they are less than a week. However, for many months, many of us may have forgotten or needed to review where we were before we left. Don't worry, I'll try to go through the main storylines and get you hooked before we return next week. Before we left, there was some flirtation going on between Billy Abbott and Amanda Sinclair. Although Amanda had several appointments with Dr. Nate Hastings at this time and fans were expecting a couple of Billy and Lily Winters, there seemed to be some unfinished work between the duo. Billy just hired Amanda for the Prime Minister to make the law and what the lawyer did. You know what I mean. They met for lunch and from across the room, Billy and Amanda continued to look at each other. Like, super into your eyes eye contact. Many viewers commented on the scene and the way Billy looked at her. It was quite obvious he still intended. Amanda had received it and was not afraid to dodge. There is certainly much to discover between the two. Now we'll see Amanda around the Prime Minister's office a lot, and it paves the way for a classic love triangle between Nate, Billy, and Amanda. We don't know, but we can't wait to return to the new episodes for Monday. Do you want to see Billy and Amanda back together? Fans started sharing their favorite moments and it seemed like a tie between 2 scenes, cancer scene and stables. When Nikki discovered Sharon had breast cancer, she reacted, the fight at the warehouse, when Nikki comforted Sharon after discovering she had breast cancer. Really memorable moments. It is a difficult choice. Thankfully, we'll see these 2 beautiful actresses again in new episodes, starting next Monday. We can't wait to go back to our current storylines and get back to everything. The brutal collapse of Young and the Restoilers on Thursday, August 6, 2020, promises a shocking day since 2005. Lily knows the truth of her conception, Devon feels comfortable in Neil and Phyllis is the dirtiest of them all. Lily found the medical test and gave it to Drew. She looked at it and handed it to Malcolm. Lily tried to play innocent, but she knew enough to put the pieces together. Neil may not be her father, but her uncle may. Lily got off the track and demanded the truth. How could this be happening? What kind of people are Drew and Malcolm? How can they do this to Neil? Malcolm has all the answers, but will Lily accept his story? Meanwhile, Devon visits Neil. His guilt is too great and he has a lot to worry about. Neil, of course, said that all was well. The incident at the zoo was terrible, but it wasn't even the worst thing that ever happened. Speaking of those results, Phyllis was also in the hands of that scandal. She knew several laboratories were on their way to Drew's door and she called to receive all the rumors. She will also receive it, but not the way she expected. Also on Red's plate was a hot situation with Damon. She flirted with him and invited her ex to have breakfast. Will he appear, or will Damon choose to turn the heat back onto Adrienne? John confronts Chloe about going to Victor and spilling beans. She thought the mustache would save Abbott, not hurt Abbott. Boy, was she wrong. It's okay, John forgives her. He doesn't want to ruin their marriage with a mumbo giant anyway. Meanwhile, Ashley and Victor are trying to find the right next step for the company. Nikki interrupted their conversation. She is not interested in her husband to spend time with her ex. Young and the Restless's vandals on Thursday, August 6, 2020 brought us back to a very dramatic day on March 1, 2005, when Lily asked Malcolm and Drew to tell her the truth, and Victor has another reason why Nikki is not good enough. Drew accidentally slept with Malcolm. She is as tall as cold medicine. It happened. She also accidentally conceived Lily. Then she deliberately lied to Neil about it. Now, Lily is the one who wants the truth from her mother and uncle. Will they continue to lie, for Lily's sake? Or come clean, for yourself? Lily thought that she wanted to know the answer to her question. But really? The very loud sounds of machines can be heard inside the Phoenix in the spring, as Abby's hotel land is being prepared by construction workers. Phyllis was by his side and didn't decide how to counter what was happening at the time. Michael Baldwin and Phyllis have been friends since the 1990s. He is a great lawyer but is also currently a lawyer in the city of Geneva, Wisconsin. Therefore, he could not intervene on behalf of Phyllis. That makes an illegal development more likely. Would it be too odd to suggest that Phyllis planted evidence of forgery that seemed, or really has historical significance on the ground where Abby's new hotel is expected to be built? Of course not. Assuming the above means that the construction will cease while various experts conduct archaeology and other types of investigations. Those efforts could take weeks, if not months, in an attempt to verify whether Abby is building on the ground that needs protection. This type of counterattack can prevent a party planning to build a rival hotel as quickly as possible. Her true purpose was not to compete with Phyllis, but eventually forced her to leave the job and, as Abby suggested, turn Phoenix into a gym that hotel guests could use. The replica has long been a trademark of Phyllis. She will really do anything to get her way. However, she had faced formidable foes in the past and didn't always win, and Abby had shown business acumen and was underestimated. So, if the proposed feedback version of Phyllis happens, viewers shouldn't expect that to be the end. Victor has a hard and fast rule: all loyalty to him all the time. It doesn't matter if a woman marries him or not at the moment. If she used to be Newman, Victor should be her top priority, now and forever. He and Nikki have been married and divorced many times, but one thing remains unchanged: the standards that Victor holds her. Right now, Victor is afraid that Nikki might not think about his own happiness. That she could have someone else, like her son, or God forbid, Jack went ahead in the queue. That will not be tolerated. And his solemn duty was to tell her that. Daniel Goddard is talking about what happened to him when he left my channel. To be honest, it's not good for him because the actor is a newly recruited American citizen. In a live chat on Twitter and Facebook this week, Goddard fell in love with his former co-stars Michelle Morgan, Bryden James, and Sean Dominic. Phyllis Summers was in a bad mood when the last time Abby Newman and the Y&R audience saw her. Now, when the new episodes air next week, it's fair to wonder what Phyllis will do to prevent Abby's new hotel project from moving forward. Abby excelled at Phyllis after Chelsea Lawson was forced to sell his stake in the Grand Phoenix Hotel. Ordway's character worked with a real estate agent while negotiating prices for half of her hotel. Abby had reached a legal agreement with Phyllis before telling her that she was planning to build a rival hotel across the street. The very loud sounds of machines can be heard inside the Phoenix in the spring, as Abby's hotel land is being prepared by construction workers. Phyllis was by his side and didn't decide how to counter what was happening at the time. Michael Baldwin and Phyllis have been friends since the 1990s. He is a great lawyer but is also currently a lawyer in the city of Geneva, Wisconsin. Therefore, he could not intervene on behalf of Phyllis. That made the illegal development more likely. Phyllis was not happy that she was most appreciated, but considered it one of their business battles. All four talked about Y&R, what was expected, and along the way, Goddard shared how he reacted to his Y&R exit. He was only sad for her. Nikki not only voted against him at the board meeting but also forced Kay to do his dirty work. The Young and the Restless Year airs weekdays on CBS. Check your local listings for airtime.
Abby can even become a truly dependent couple. To Abby,